Hello and welcome to Bastards and Boomsticks with your host Dan and Grant. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah,
Good to be back.
Yeah, nice one, mate. I'm all good, thank you, pal. Right, tonight we're doing Blood Vessel, 2019 horror film, where a group of survivors from a shipwreck come across a German boat in the middle of the ocean, and when they climb aboard, they're all mysteriously picked off one by one.
Ooh. Wavy fingers, wavy fingers.
Yes. So, mate, it's came across it quite random. I purposely didn't watch any trailers. I saw the poster, said Blood Vessel, awesomely stupid title. Threw it your way. What did you think?
Yeah. Well, I actually think the title it makes me laugh every time I say it.
Yep.
But it's actually a better film than what you'd think for the title. You would think it might, even in like what the film is, the tone it is. It's not as daft as what the title is, and the title's good fun.
Yeah,
I did get that. Myself, I actually quite enjoyed it. I think maybe the last part of the film. Well, I won't come to that just yet. I'd like to start with the cast, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
So we dropped right in it where these bunch of people, these survivors, are in a lifeboat, and they get to this ghost ship and stuff. So first off, there's no big names in the cast or anything like that, which is quite kind of good for a film like this, because I think it's great that we get to see these guys as the characters.
Yeah.
What I would say the standout for me was Nathan Phillips as I think he was like the Australian guy.
Oh,
yeah. He was brilliant. And after your initial like thinking, is this just going to be one guy's an idiot, another guy's going to argue with him? It seemed to move away from that kind of cliches and stuff.
Yeah.
So, to me, I enjoyed the film a lot because I thought the cast was like they had really good chemistry. They bounced off each other quite well, and for the most part they avoid. I think one character falls into the "I'm such a greedy cunt." I'm not going to think about the fact that I'm way out of my depth here. All I'm going to think about is money will save the day or gold will save the day. Apart from that, I actually think it was quite nice. And reading from the title, I thought it might venture into one thing, and it actually stayed quite nice, like low key, kind of like you said, picked off one by one, and let's find out what's going off. So before we talk about like the furthest, what did you think?
I was the same. I sort of went in because I thought it was going to be sort of like a bit of a modern B movie. I was quite like ready for a bit of a tongue-in-cheek sort of,
absolutely,
sort of almost without disrespecting Evil Dead 2, but a little bit Evil Dead 2 where you got your humour, and I thought it was going to be more.
I was expecting the titty twister on a boat.
Yeah. And I was like, when it opened, and it had that cold opening, everyone was already on the raft, and you sort of met your characters, and you had your captain, the strong-jawed sort of older guy captain, and then there's an Australian guy and a Russian guy, and there were all these from all these different nationals, and a single female character. And already I thought, as soon as it opened, I thought, are we in trope territory?
Yes, absolutely.
It's purposely going out of the way. You've got one guy who's angry with the black guy, seemingly because he's a black guy. And it's sort of like, it's like, we're going to have that. Is he going to be sort of on him all the time because of his colour and stuff like that, and these sort of old attitudes and whatever. And I was glad it didn't, because they all started working together pretty quickly. Like you said, with the exception of one character, he was pretty dead set against the Russian as well. I didn't quite understand that Russians were incredibly helpful towards the end of World War II. But what was nice was that this incident happens, so the captain is no longer around to captain.
Again, a bit of a cliche breaker straight away.
Yeah. So you like you said, the Nathan Phillips was just
he kind of becomes
begrudgingly,
captain.
So begrudgingly becomes a self-appointed, but he's so good, and he's engaging, and he takes charge in a sort of almost lax sort of way.
Well, doesn't he have the first thing that warmed him to me was there's the British intelligence officer that's kind of a bit cowardly. You get, and he's injured and he's being looked after
Yeah.
by the female. And the kind of an argument where it's like traitor kind of back and forth, and it ends with the
Yeah.
Australian guy going, wanker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anything, I kind of like you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
Relatable.
where we are. Yeah. So it was nice. It was nice. Sort of they broke the trope that I thought they were going for within 5 minutes. So it was really really cool. And it didn't take long to get into it either. That was what I was quite happy about. You know, they discovered, sort of going into little story elements. They discover some mushy bodies. Some quite horrific deaths on board this ship, and then they discover
the first body they find, what a mess! It's like the blood vessels and veins are like protruding everywhere, aren't they?
It's fucked, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's absolutely fucked. And then they find a little girl, and they sort of play it a little bit like what I remember, sort of like Ghost Ship, where this girl appears, but that she runs away. And is she there? Isn't she there? People are seeing things out the corner of their eyes, and stuff like that. So I did think again we were following similar territory. I thought, is it going to be another sort of Ghost Ship type scenario? And I was very very pleasantly surprised with what was hiding in the hold. Because because I'll go into it now, it turns out within the ship there's hiding a vampire. And it's what's really I commend the film for is they didn't go stereotypical, good-looking, windswept-looking, sort of heroic-looking figure. It's not like a Shelley type, a Byron type figure. It's this bat demon creature in a really nice outfit.
It's
a stylish bat demon thing.
It is absolutely, it is. I liked the fact that you've got the American and the black guy, and it wasn't a race thing by the end of it. It's because he was his boss, and it was a power thing, which is again a nice thing because it gave him more. And when he died, the black guy does die. Bigger, I think the American's called. He actually does have a bit where he's like, no, like he seemed genuinely upset that he's died.
Yeah.
So the characters are good. They do feel, like you said, you start off and you're thinking like, let's count the tropes, but actually, by the end of it, they are good, and most of them are. I'm not going to say fleshed out. It's not that kind of film, but you don't just feel like you sat there waiting to them to like. You tick a list off and you're waiting one by one. You genuinely think, I don't know who's going to survive this, if any. I don't know what's going to go off, really.
Yeah, they could all easily be cannon fodder, couldn't they? They could easily just been presented to be, to be slaughtered. But they weren't. They all get something. It's the nice sort of idea that the ship's fucked, so they have to stop the engines before it destroys itself. So they're just waiting and waiting. It's that whole trepidation as well that they're boarding. All these allies are boarding a Nazi boat and don't know what's waiting for them on top. So it's that sort of. There's a nice sort of element to anything could be on top, and they know that it's either they stay in a raft and die through starvation, or dehydration or whatever, or they get on this Nazi ship. Where they know that the likelihood is, it says at the start that towards the end of the war that the Nazis weren't taking prisoners anymore; they were just shooting, shooting anyone that they come across. So they know that the likelihood is they either take the chances on this ship and get killed, or they stay on the raft and get killed. So it makes you feel for them more because they've got more to lose than anyone. It's like die or die, but at least. Die with dignity on with your enemy on the ship or starve to death.
Exactly. For me, I just felt it's one of those films. It feels like the structure of it. It feels one of those things where I'm a huge fan of films being about 90 to 100 minutes because I think it's nothing worse than a film that should have ended 10, 15 minutes ago. But I do feel that we got all this build up and it was going on great, and then it seems to have like, I think from opening the coffin there's like 25 minutes it kind of like races into Act 3 so quickly.
Mm.
So, and there's probably a scene with the Australian and with the Russian guy when they open up a door and there's like a million, well, not
Yeah.
a million obviously, but there's like a good room full of vampires all turned or whatever, and they just bash the way through them. Like, I felt that was the only scene really that took away from the film, because it kind of, just because, not because it wasn't done well, just because it kind of felt at odds with what the slow burn of the
Yeah.
and the figuring out stuff of like where they, when they trap the girl to offer the little girl,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and this like lurking presence can be anywhere and stuff like that, for them to just find a room full of people, be able to close the door, then go, fuck it, let's go back in.
Yeah, it sort of takes the brains out of anything for that moment. When they've been so cautious and the numbers have dwindled down so much, for them to take such a big risk, it was the same for me. It was that little bit that I think they could have just done without. The threat was already there. They didn't need. I didn't need to know what happened to the. I mean, you see from the bodies strewn about that the crew didn't survive their encounter what was on the ship. You know, it's
No.
You know, and it's
the only way I think that I thought, when I saw that, I thought it's a way to get those guys back into the part of the ship where the master or lead vampire creature was. But it wasn't used like that, was it?
No.
That's the thing. So yeah, I'm like you. Like, I know they always say show don't tell, but sometimes we can't show everything. We just have to assume, and we don't need to be led to every puddle of water to drink, do we?
Yeah, and I think Gorams will be happy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's nicely over the top. And it's not in a show absolutely everything you need to see. It's gruesome, but it's in such a fun way.
Yeah, it does walk a very fine line of, like, not a B movie, not a horror comedy, but I think it pushes what it can do to the absolute limit of it, and I still took it all seriously.
Yeah.
The threat and everything. So, am I disappointed in any of it? Not really. Did I find it better than I thought? Absolutely. I thought I was going to have a giggle and think, like you, B movie. Oh, great! Nice to see one of those. The film title still makes me laugh when you told me about it. When I tell people, Blood Vessel, it's just great. But it's probably. I think probably the title works against it in a way of, maybe it sounds a little bit silly or a bit like, maybe like a B movie or some kind of parody. I think it's perfect.
I think
it might put people off.
I was about to say, I think people easily dismiss it.
Yeah, absolutely.
For being that. I mean, the key art for the poster was what really sold me. It was done in such a nice traditional sort of painted way. It was really nice.
I mean, I got the when you see like the majority of the poster or anything like that, or promotional artwork, it's blood with like a Nazi symbol, then vessel. So it kind of separates it, so it's not sounding very much like you're talking about the human anatomy.
Yeah.
But it is. It does make me smile every time I have to say the film's title. But yeah, I would recommend this film. I would say this is a film I would be expected to be talking about it for my college days.
Yes,
it feels like that, mate, like a bit of a throwback.
Yeah, definitely. I'd same here, mate. I'd recommend it. I think it's fun. It's fun, but it's better than, like I said, better than that we thought. It's expectations more than met.
Oh god, yeah, almost probably better than what the studio had probably thought themselves.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Probably thought, yeah, we'll do this thing. They probably got it back, watched the dailies and stuff, and gone, shit, we thought this is going to be a comedy or a little bit of a funny thing.
Yeah.
Just, you could imagine some kind of studio executive asshole type that's like, how the fuck we're going to make any money? We can't sell this as it's not got the budget or the like star power to pull anything for us, and it's not fucking stupid enough to get everybody to watch it.
Brilliant.
Just feels like that, but it's easy. If you can find it streaming anywhere, watch it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's only an hour and a half. It's a good watch.
Definitely worth your time.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for that, mate. Really enjoyed that. if you guys like to give us a like, share, and subscribe, we really appreciate it. Let us know what you thought about Blood Festival in the comments below, and we'll see you again soon.